Okay, well, let's have a look at this bathroom from hell that I had to renovate. That brown you see on the wall is creosote. Imagine that. Creosote in radiators, walls, everything. Made a right old mess of it. Now I have to make it clear that when I do kitchens and bathrooms that are like this, my job is to make it usable again, hygienic and usable again, not make it to fancy standard or 5-star hotel standard. It's to make it all good and useful again for the next person. So some things aren't incredibly fancy that I do, they're just standard, just good standard. The first thing, just get rid of that door. It's in the way, it's going to piss me off every time I get through, knocking things over. And this bath is cast iron, as you can see there where the enamel's chipped away and rusted. It's got to go. And that too. Now I know, like all cast iron baths, it's going to weigh an absolute ton. But let's get rid of around the edges first, so I'll at least get to it. Old tiles. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's lovely, that. Nice bit of tile in that. Hoof it. And this panelling, what's behind it? Jesus, that's what's behind it. There's a reason for the panelling. Just stuck on with some old silicone by the looks of it, and came off with no effort at all. Old tiles, and you can even see where they've dropped on the bottom there. Really, it does not bode well. And it's got to go, it's all got to go. Lots of silicone. And what else? Mould. Obviously where moisture has got behind it for years and years, mould gets in there. That also has to go. And there, mould at the bottom, but then the rest is okay, just old silicone. Look at that mould. Nah. It's like cake. But not the cake, not the cake I'd like to eat. Not with that black shite. So, whip out a pair of friends and have at it. It's coming off with no effort at all. And you can see it's just been dot and dabbed. And you can see where along the edge of the bath where there's been moisture getting through for years and years. So you've got to scrape all that old silicone off as well before I can do anything. I can't remember if I showed it in the video or not, but black mould got sprayed. This killer stuff. Some would call it therapeutic. Nah, I wouldn't. It's just scrape. The paint just come off easy. And here you can see where it's just the it's like a, what's the wall made out of? It's like a, it's sort of like a cement board, but not a cement board. But this was done years and years ago. You can see where I've started to paint over the creosote there. It took many, many layers out. See there, layers of plaster just coming off as well. If it's loose, it's got to go. Like this bath, this has to go too. So start to drag it out, and yes, it does weigh a ton. And there's pipe work underneath as well that I've got to be careful of, as I discover. First, let's get those feet off, or the taps even. I love that tool. Getting under sinks and all those dodgy places. Now go in the scrap bin. Right, now I've got to get it out of there, and it weighs about the same as I do. Yes, I did scrap it. I cut it in half and I sent it to the scrap yard. I got myself 25 quid for it, and that's okay for a bit of rubbish. And here's what's left of the walls, and of course that bath before I got rid. Now first thing I want to do is put some tin batting in around the walls at bath height for my new bath to sit on top of. I don't like using just little brackets. I like it to sit on a ledge, so the weight is taken over the whole length of the bath. And the ends, of course, as well. The advantages of a long level. Legs wherever they can go. I'd already started the tiling there. It's another advantage that timber. Yet not only does it hold the bath up, it gives you the level for the tiles as well. The wall definitely wasn't level. It wasn't flat, wasn't level. So each tile was a different story. think that's an improvement, especially when the other edges get done. Right, what to do about this radiator? There's actually absolutely nothing wrong with this radiator at all. It just looks like shit because of the creosote shit that's been painted on top of it. So, radiator paint it is. Scraped back to all the loose stuff, all the worst stuff. I think it was about 3 coats in all, something like that. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the aim is to get this place up and running again ASAP. And if there's absolutely nothing wrong with the radiator, why replace it? It can be replaced later. It will be replaced, I imagine, in a couple of years' time, but rust will come through. But for now, when there's people in need of homes, make good. I think that was about the 3rd layer of paint on top of that creosote stuff. What the last layer of paint now is a good thick bathroom paint. The electric fan in the corner will be replaced, so don't worry about the creosote stuff like blurging all over it. You can see how bad that strip of wall is at the end of the bath there, so I'm going to have to do something about that. It's structurally solid, but just a bad surface to tile onto. Sticking a new windowsill in the bathroom. The cleanest and quickest way. The tiles that are down there now is just to make it level, because what was down underneath was stuck hard but crap. So I fixed that down, and then that strip between the end of it and the window itself, I'll put a thin tile between that. God, it's all looking very white, isn't it? Well, a lot better than what it was. Maybe I'll choose a different colour on the next one. And the ceiling. You can see how everybody's years of having a shower has got that one spot with the flaky paint. It's all got to come off, because that stuff loves to stick to your paintbrush when you're trying to paint the ceiling. I love this tool. It's used mainly for ripping tiles up and things like that, but I use it anywhere where it's flaky. Slight advantages of being tall, you don't really need a ladder for much. I think it was a couple of coats of bathroom paint on top of that I did. It's funny when you see my face on the camera, and I'm in work mode, not in smiling at the camera mode, so you look pretty gormless. One track mind, that's what it is. Focus on the job and smile later. Right, pipe work. Need an isolator valve, because there isn't one. The water coming out there is just water that's sat in the pipe. The house is turned off. Got a clean, tidy edge on it. That's the flow of the water indicator. It's important to know that when you put it on, because each side of the isolator valves isn't the same. And I'm changing this pipework here. That corner isn't needed. Yep, it works. Off, on, off. And it's dry. New metal bath, a lot lighter than the cast iron bath. I much prefer fitting metal baths to acrylic baths. Acrylic baths don't have any weight and they wibble and they wobble all over the place. Metal baths, they stay put. Get all these feet bits done properly. Nice shiny tap. I always like to do all the tap, as much of the tap fitting as possible before fitting the bath in, because there's nothing worse of climbing climbing's not the word, crawling under a bath is the word, especially when you're above average height. There you go, I can sit it on the timber at the back, and then I can just level it up with the feet underneath. Sticking a flexi hose onto there, which is the cold. Now fixing this timber to the floor so I can build the other part of the framework to hold the bath up, and also the panel, the bath side panel. It's all a bit belt and braces, but I like belt and braces. Now this is the end of the bath where it doesn't reach the wall. Access isn't required there, so I can close it up completely and then just tile over the top. And now you can see where the room isn't square. But hey, right, now I'm messing about with that mucky wall at the tap end of the bath. It's perfectly strong, it's just a bad surface to tile to, so I'm cleaning it up by fixing some ply to it. I mean, look at the double layer and everything. And this job needs to be finished in good time, so stick a new surface on the top and tile to that. And screws. So there's the panelling fitted. And what am I going to do about the sink? Well, I'm not going to put a sink in. I'm going to put a vanity unit in, because it's more useful and easier for maintenance when you have to do something later on. You'd have to keep struggling around the pedestal of the sink. You just open the door and that goes straight into the pipework. There's don't know how many years of paint is on that pipework. Of course, where you're going to work on it, it's got to come off. Isolator valve, of course. Now this is going to be the vanity unit. Of course, I've got to cut out the side, where the pipework passes Look at the amount of paint on those pipes. Years and years and years of it. Well, it's not about what they look like, it's about do they work or not, and they certainly do. So that's cutting out the access for that pipe work that runs along the back wall. Ah! Yeah, just mess everything up that you've just made tidy. Other end, Jeff, other end. And that's putting it in place. Now, unfortunately, I lost the footage of fitting the rest of the sink and everything. So here's the bathroom as is done. If you remember the brown walls and the manky radiator and everything. Like I said earlier, the aim is not to do a 5-star hotel, it's to make it good, hygienic and clean and up and running again for the people who need it. I didn't change the toilet on this bathroom simply because the toilet that was there was fine, just needs cleaning, that's all, but it works fine. The shower, got to actually tighten that shower hose up. Yeah, that's all working, hot and cold. And for the floor, new vinyl will be fitted, not by me, just by somebody else. But a hell of a lot cleaner, and look how it used to be. Manky. That's a good difference. And also, of course, when people move into their house, they make it their own thing. They beautify it up themselves. It looks a bit bare now, but it's clean and bare. That'll do for another one. Well, thank you very much for watching.